Zoro was instantly knocked out because Shanks hit him with a hockey cover stick. Shanks put Zoro in his right hand and bring the fish in his other hand. "Hey, what's your name?" Sanji said as he looked at Luffy. "My name is Luffy." Sanji and Luffy bonded after talking for a while. Shanks brought the fish to Makino and put Zoro around a table, but suddenly one of Shanks's crewmates run up to him and whisper in his ears after hearing that Shanks and all his crew leave the tavern. "Shanks, where are you going?" Luffy said. "Here, take this." Luffy Shanks as he took off his straw hat and put it on Luffy's head. "Why don't you return that someday?" Shanks said as he started walking in the direction of his ship. Luffy entered the tavern to see an almost empty place with only Zoro, Sanji, and Makino. Luffy stood right next to the out-cold Zoro and smiled at them. He instantly fell asleep. Almost an hour later he woke up to see that the food was fish making, and he looked at the meat before grabbing it and biting it. "Makino, food is always the best," Luffy said before he slurped down the noodles in front of him. "Sanji, help me make it," Makino said as she looked at 3 little boys eating. "Luffy is 9 and the other 2 boys supposed to be 11, Makino said as she smiled. After eating, the 3 boys fall into a deep slumber. A couple of hours later the 3 boys woke up in a strange room at the same time in the morning, and looking around the room they were in, Luffy saw Makino reading a book before going outside. Zoro got up and exited the room following behind by Sanji and Luffy. They ended up in the nearby forest where Zoro turned around and asked Luffy if what he ate was a devil fruit. "Yes," Luffy replied. "Battle me," Zoro said as he took the wooden sword from his side and slashed at Luffy, but he ducked and was about to punch Zoro when a dark-looking flame appeared on Luffy's hand. "What is on my hand?" Luffy said as he flashed his hand trying to out the flame, but he realized that it won't damage him. Luffy smiled as he punched Zoro in his stomach, burning part of his clothes and even part of his skin. Zoro retorted by slamming the wooden stick on Luffy's head. "My head," Luffy cried as the straw hat dropped off of his head. "Everybody is getting stronger than me," Sanji said as he remembered everything his brothers would do to him just because they were stronger. Sanji began crying as he vows to become the strongest or one of the strongest. Suddenly Sanji walked off in the forest as he began his training. Days would pass where the improvement in Luffy and Zoro would be clear, but on the other hand Sanji made no big improvement. A couple of months later Sanji was training on a tree, then his foot was engulfed in flame, but he didn't realize, and when he CK'd the tree a massive dent in the tree was seen, almost frightening Sanji. "What is this?" Sanji said as he put his feet on the ground. A few hours later Sanji walked beside Zoro and Luffy fighting, then set his foot on flame as he shouted, "Diable Jambe!" Zoro and Luffy was surprised as they looked at Sanji. Foot THST was on fire. Zoro smiled as he rushed at Sanji with his wooden sword, but he swiftly kicked it, breaking it in two.